Good afternoon. Welcome to the Board of Assessors meeting on August 21st. We will be taping our own meeting, and LCAT will be viewing and videotaping our meeting, and nobody else will be taping or watching our meeting. And we'll start off with a review of the minutes of the meeting. I don't have it in front of me, from July 31st. Bill Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, I have reviewed the open and executive session minutes from July 31st, 2018, and I find them to be in order, biased to form and content, and I move that they be approved.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting the minutes?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Did that right, I'm not sure. Building permits, first up. Can you see that, Marilyn?
Yep.
There is a plus symbol at the top.
I mean, her screen is just small and dark. I don't know, we may have to work at that sometime. Compared to that, look at that screen,
Yeah.
how bright.
Yeah. I don't
We'll
think
figure
it
that out.
goes.
So,
No,
how many new dwellings?
We have one new condo.
One new condo.
We're up to 7 year to date.
7 total?
New buildings, yes.
Right, including
here.
condos, right?
Yes, and I did just receive a couple notifications. We have a couple new houses coming,
Okay.
but we're still way
below.
Yes, we have more people
10 year
doing
below.
remodels and
Yeah.
additions as opposed to building brand new
I've
houses.
never seen that street name, so I don't know if you kicked off a new street.
It is the latest phase, the
Okay.
last phase, if I'm
Last
not
phase,
mistaken,
okay.
of the fields at Chestnut.
Oh,
Yeah, ribbon glass,
Grass.
grass, ribbon grass. Couple of solars,
7 solar. They're
Wow.
still moving along. We're at
some
31.
remodels, no crazy remodels.
lots of decks, insulation.
Although the condo is going crazy with their remodel, but. That's it. Any questions on pretty bland building permits? Bill, anything to add?
No?
Okay. We'll move on to LA3 sales report, the sales for July. Quite a few as usual.
A ton.
Anyone's of question, Diane?
Well, we have some that are over, like the very top one that, the assessment to sale ratio
Oh yeah,
is
look at that.
quite high.
I don't know anything about that one.
I do know in the center, the 1.28, it was a land sale, and I did check with the building commissioner to make sure that it was a buildable lot, but he said that yes it is, but there has to be improvements to the street prior to being allowed to build, so that could be a reason for the price. And it was not on the market to my knowledge. It could be. Maybe you might be more aware of it.
The .72 going the other way, down towards the bottom, it's a .74.
Mm-hmm.
Some big differences there. The last one, I don't know about that one either.
The very bottom.
No, not the first sheet.
Yeah, I
don't know. Looked it up in MLS.
Well, I have been finding that there are a lot of improvements to a lot of the properties that I'm not aware of, as they're
Right.
coming through. And I think right now the market is just kind of crazy.
Yeah. Look at some of those.
Unfortunately, the crazy market is what drives our assessments.
Mm.
You say it louder?
And then on the second page, the one that's 1.36.
Yeah. Buying a neighbor's house or something, probably?
It's not too far down the street
Oh,
from
okay.
him, and I don't really know a whole lot about the sale. I was aware that he lives maybe,
Tony Bordoni is Body Works
Mhm.
Unlimited,
Mhm.
and he always lived next door. So I don't know if that's the next door.
mm-hmm.
Oh no, he bought it. He was the buyer. So it might have been on the other side of his business. He lives on the left of it.
Mm-hmm. So granted, we do send out sale questionnaires, and
Right.
you know, if we don't ask for an appointment, people send the sale questionnaires back. When we do ask for an appointment,
That's
they don't send them back.
Oh,
I'm not quite sure why.
All right, any other sales to talk about? Diane and I talked about a couple others, the .94. Oh yeah, look at that, I had a lot of work. Okay. All right, moving on for that to director's update.
Very brief. I was at the UMass Assessing Summer School. I was there for 5 days. I learned quite a bit. Naturally, as we all know, in order to keep our certification, have to take a day of use PAP every 3 years. So I
That's
did
tough
that.
to go through.
I did that, and we did take a class of crashing into the ceiling. So as people are getting, as municipalities are getting closer to that $25 per thousand mark.
Oh yeah, what they had. Yeah, go ahead, that's interesting for them.
Yeah, and the principal or main assessor for the city of Springfield, Richie Allen, was the one who gave the class and,
Oh, wow.
and gave all of their experiences of how they can no longer claim new growth because of that particular situation. I also had an opportunity to talk to a finance director from a neighboring community who is getting close to the $25 per thousand mark, and he said that his municipality is already working at ways to plan A and plan B with some action plans.
Oh, they
and
are,
one
huh?
of them is checking with the state for relief. Unsure how that'll work,
Wow,
but
interesting.
it's good to have someone go before us.
Yes.
Let them pave the way for us. So day one was personal property, and we discussed anywhere from the small mom and pop businesses right through to utilities. USPAP was day two. Day three, crashing to the ceiling and statutory exemptions. Kathleen Caleri, who has worked for the Municipal Finance Bureau as of late the chief, who is an attorney and resolves all of our difficult issues, deciphering what the law really means and what their intent really was, shared that there is a new veterans legislation coming through, and it's been deemed the BRAVE Act. She had hoped when she gave the class last Wednesday that the governor would have signed it at that point. She really felt it was going to happen. He is going to sign it from what we understand, so there will be a few new changes in for veterans,
Okay.
and I will make sure once it's passed to share that with the staff and the board. And Kathleen is retiring, and that's going to be a great loss for assessors across Massachusetts because she is such an informative person. I did take a class on valuing rent-restricted units, which was Gary McCabe gave that class. I don't know if you know Gary, and it was an IAAO course, and it's going to provide very helpful as we're having some of our Chapter 121A properties coming off of that and becoming taxed because they have dedicated rent-restricted units within the facility, so that's going to be very helpful. And
Those apartment buildings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the last day was with the Division of Local Services discussing Gateway, the new changes, and the upcoming 2020 requirements for our certifications. So they are going to be requiring more and more of us. One of the things is they're going to start requiring us to delve deeper into the utilities companies' personal property instead of just voting to take the net book value.
Oh, jeez.
We're now going to have to start requiring detailed asset lists and going through them. I had gone up to one of the presenters at the end and said, as a suggestion, 351 communities now contacting their local utility company asking for something that they've never had to provide.
Yeah, good luck.
I can imagine that it's going to be a little bit more difficult for us, and so I suggested that maybe our bureau chief of the Division of Local Services reaches out to the utility companies. And apparently another person in the classroom had the same thought, and so it was brought back to Boston, and I guess Joanne Graziano, who is the chief, is definitely responded favorably and said that she will send out a letter and reach out to them. So those could be changes for us along the way, but we'll deal with them one step at a time.
Does anyone, I know you mentioned the ceiling. I know Greenfield is very high for some reason. Is anyone really close, like worried about this year? Did they bring up any particular town?
It was a small class, so they really didn't. It was really focused on what happened to the city of Springfield when they hit that ceiling. It was a little bit difficult because they ended up having the control board in from maybe 5 to 7 years, and right now they are, although they can't take any of the new growth, but with the casino, which is due to open any time, that is really helping them.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a Western Mass problem because Eastern Mass doesn't have high tax rates, so, or Cape Cod, so
They do.
it's a Western Mass.
The Hampden, Hampshire County Assessing Association is going to have their first annual summer meeting. It is next Thursday, the 30th. Bill, I do have you signed up, and the staff is signed up. The office staff will be leaving at 2 to get there for 3
This
o'clock.
Thursday of this week, or
Next Thursday, the 30th.
yeah,
That's the
day after tomorrow.
No.
The 30th.
Oh, the 30th.
8 days.
Week from the day after tomorrow.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. But I will have a swap participant, a senior work-off abatement program
Oh, cool.
participant,
Yeah.
covering the office from 2 to 4. What's New in Municipal Law is going to have their seminar on October 4th. It's generally very informative. It's one that I always attend. I was talking with Kathleen Caleri, and she said that she's really hard-pressed to find some really awesome recent decisions that have happened at the appellate tax or the SJC to present. So apparently we've had kind of a bland year, but I'm sure that she'll come up with something good. And I just received notification that the Vision National User Group, which is a 2-day event, is going to be held on October 4th and 5th. That kind of coincides with the municipal law. I'm considering attending, especially as we're planning on doing our upgrade for our Vision, but it's nothing set in stone as of yet.
Yeah, with the new vision system coming in, it's important that we keep track of that.
Well, it's good to hear what other people are talking about it too, because I've heard from a few people of the issues that have happened. So it's really great when you already know about certain items that you might have a conflict, so you're prepared for it before it happens, and then you're trying to use it and you panic. So.
All right, sounds good.
And that's all I have. I believe the remaining information would be in executive session, abatement applications, ATV.
Okay. All right, we all set? Any questions on director's update, Bill?
No.
Marilyn?
No, great update, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, make a motion to go into executive session to discuss fiscal 17 abatement applications, appellate tax board notices, discuss our upcoming values, and we will only be adjourning into open session to record our votes. Take a roll call vote. Bill Johnston,
Yes.
Marilyn Gadini,
Yes.
Marty Grudgeon, yes.